Welcome back for another week of our course together. This week for Module 3, we'll be discussing motivation and working with teams. And motivation and teamwork are two great topics that pair very well together as we think about how we really not only motivate individuals, but create that magic that happens when you get a team that works together, understands one another's needs, and can move forward very quickly on certain tasks. So the first thing we're going to be doing is defining and understanding motivation. Understanding motivation is a driving force behind both individual and team behaviors in healthcare settings, and how it's so important to grasp the intricacies of what motivates and demotivates individuals. So we'll be discussing the difference between intrinsic, internal, self-directed motivation, and extrinsic motivation like pay or work environment. What motivates us that's outside of us or outside of our value system specifically. We'll also be talking about financial, material versus achievement motivation, which also falls along those lines, but the idea of being more motivated by a title or personal fulfillment or pay, lots of different factors. We'll talk about the difference between positive and negative reinforcement, how it's leveraged in health services administration, how we leverage positive reinforcement, and how we cultivate positive organizational culture. We'll also be talking about how we use motivation to enhance productivity, quality of care, cost effectiveness. And we'll be talking about specific theories, such as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which you've probably heard before, that's very common in psychology, and Herzberg's two-factor theory, that's very specific to the idea of these hygiene factors and personal factors that may serve as motivators. Once we're done with that intro to motivation, we'll be talking about teamwork, and we'll be talking about team characteristics. So what makes a team thrive? How are teams organized, different types of teams, the nature of the work done in teams. We'll also be talking about external factors that can influence teams and how you can best set your team or teams up for success. We'll also be talking through some different questions to ponder. So thinking about how we can motivate diverse teams, how we can cultivate a culture of equity and inclusiveness while still having an element of adaptive leadership where we're responding to the needs of different team members, realizing not everyone's motivated by the same thing. And so I strongly think that by considering the needs of different team members and the different challenges they face, we can uncover different but equally effective managerial strategies. And also, we'll take some time to dive into the idea of team practices, the way that teams operate and how that's so very different from individual work. And hopefully this will really help you feel equipped to lead and work in teams. Now, as far as what's required for this module, we've talked through the intro. You'll take a look at the learning objectives again, which echo everything I've just shared. And then you'll go through the learning materials. And so our learning resources for this module include 2 short lectures, right? One on teamwork, one on motivation. So budget a little bit of time for 2 short lectures. Take time once you've reviewed those lectures, review the associated Quizlets, and take our quiz 3 that will cover both chapters. Then this module has our first short write-up. So in addition to having your reflection and discussion forum, you will be submitting a short write-up that also addresses some of the questions raised here around motivation and teamwork. And then when you're done with all of that, go to our module summary, take a look at our final summary and reflection questions, and prepare for a little bit of a shift. We're going to start getting more and more strategic and more broad in our thinking, but also more focused on different leadership competencies. So again, you have a short write-up in this module. You have a discussion forum and a reflection paper. So that's 3 assignments that are coming due. Now keep in mind, you can look ahead in your course. You only have 3 short write-up papers in this course. And so some weeks will feel like there's a little more there. Like, wow, this week is more homework heavy. That's not on purpose. The idea is that as you go from module to module, you're anticipating that. You're saying, okay, I only have to do 3 of these over 8 weeks. Maybe I look ahead and prep for this short write-up that's due again in a few weeks. And so I'm hoping that allows you some flexibility between family, work, life to schedule your time and be aware of the fact that certain things have very specific weekly deliverables, right? Like our weekly quizzes, but other assignments are designed to have a little more space in between. All right. Well, I hope this was a helpful overview. Again, reach out, communicate your needs and questions, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks, everybody.